You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Corte, and it is an honor to welcome to the show the Honorable Willie Brown, the former mayor of San Francisco, the former speaker of the California State Assembly, a legend in California politics, a legend in American politics, is here to join us. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mayor.
I'm pleased to be on. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Well, pleased to have you on the air. You're making quite a bit of news here in California. We're going to get to that in a second. But a number of folks are following this story coming out of Virginia, where we're seeing a Virginia state senator has been the target of an FBI probe. The FBI has searched the state Senate leader's hometown office. They have searched one of her businesses as a part of a corruption investigation case. What do you make of this, particularly considering that this wasn't just any old state senator? It's a state senator that led the redistricting effort in Virginia that was victorious at the ballots, even while it still continues to be litigated in the courts.
She led it in what direction?
Well, she led the redistricting efforts to victory. Not
on behalf of the existing Voting Rights Act.
That's well, when it was existing, yes.
Yeah, but it did exist. But she must have led a successful Voting Rights Act effort, and she must have elected some people. And got people elected to the House based upon the Voting Rights Act authorization for how you should be drawing the lines. I don't know anything else about the incident that she was involved in. So I do not know whether or not the Trump administration, if it is the Trump administration who's trying to prosecute, is doing so for their political reasons.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely something for us to sort of keep our eye on. There are a lot of people, as you can understand, Mr. Mayor, that, are suspicious when there is an FBI raid of an elected official who's been on the opposite side of an issue with this president. Not just elected officials, but you look at former FBI Director James Comey. You look at a long list of folks that have been on the wrong side of this president. Mr. Mayor, you have seen many presidents, and you have seen and politics in at its best and politics at its worst. Just the fact that we're raising the question. That Representative Bobby Scott is raising the question as to whether or not this could be part of some sort of political retribution. What does it say about the health of our politics?
Well, that's the way politics are being played in this country since Mr. Trump managed to win the presidency again. So nothing, frankly, shocks me that he would do to people who would be considered his enemies. Mm-hmm. He's done it to everybody, and he will keep on doing it.
Mr. Mayor, are you concerned about the state of particularly Black political power? When people look at the legacy of folks like yourself, many leaders, many founders of the Congressional Black Caucus, when people, look back at your contribution to the body politic, they can't overlook, what it's meant in terms of developing Black political power. Once upon a time, we had, a handful of Black electeds in office across the country. Now, well over 1,500 Black electeds across the country and counting. How are you reflecting on the state of Black political power in this country right now?
I think Black political power in this country is being reduced almost every day, simply because the nature of the people who are succeeding at winning the authority to change things in their direction. The Trump administration has been doing that since Mr. Trump won, when he won the first time. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that we are looking at the distinct possibility until somebody else is elected to continue to see our numbers being diminished. And they will be diminished through the world of politics and the exercise of political power by our opposition, and to the absence of any equality through the court system under the law, because he's been smart enough as president to drive the appointment process involving judges in a direction where the interpretation of the facts and the rules that are out there are going to be, more times than not, ruled in favor of our common enemies. That's the nature of politics in this country today.
Mr. Mayor, I remember growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area back when you were mayor of San Francisco. I remember when Oakland's mayor, Ella Lou Harris, led that city. What are the odds that we will see, another Black mayor, the possibility we could see another Black mayor of a city like San Francisco, where, to your point, the demographics have been shifting, away from any sort of significant Black voting bloc in a city like San Francisco?
We are down to under 5% Blacks in San Francisco. There's absolutely no basis for being optimistic about the potential for being able to establish what we established from about 1970 to the present day. We had a Black person, woman, holding the mayor's job, defeated by the incumbent mayor. And he was not a Trumpite. He was a well-to-do young man from private schools with a family with unlimited resources. And we lost that gig. However, about the same time, Barbara Lee, a Black woman, won the mayorship in Oakland because of the efforts made on a recall, and she ended up winning when that special election came about. There's a Black woman who won the job of district attorney of Alameda County, Black woman who won district attorney of Contra Costa County, a Black woman who won the job in San Francisco as district attorney as a result of recall. So there are some positive steps that's being evidence of an ascendancy where there's good quality and good quality voters, etc. So I'm still optimistic about California in a very positive way. Just think, statewide, we currently have 3 persons holding statewide office who's Black in California. Superintendent of schools, Black, but he's now running for governor, and he's not going to win, but he's running. Then we have Black Secretary of State appointed by Gavin Newsom, and then she is going to win re-election, Shirley Weatherford out of San Diego. And then we have Malia Cohen from San Francisco. She's the controller. And those are all very good steps. We have 2 or 3 Asians who have won similarly. And so there's no reason why we ought to be sad. We ought to be demonstrating how joyful it is to be able, where we don't have even the numbers, to still win. And we have to lament about when we lose one, like we did in San Francisco. And we will lament again if Karen Bass loses in Los Angeles. She obviously is up for re-election. She may or may not win, but I'm thinking she's going to win, and I'm hoping she's going to win, and we're working to get her to win. So there's still reason to be optimistic about the electoral process in our state.
Mayor Brown, when we come forward, you've made a little bit of news yourself, a little political earthquake you made. You've made an endorsement in the California gubernatorial race. Spoiler alert, it's not Tony Thurmond, the superintendent of public instruction. It's someone else. When we come forward, I want to give you an opportunity to reveal who that individual is and talk us through how you arrived at that endorsement and not others in the race. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward with the Honorable. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai. I'm really delighted to be in conversation with the Honorable Willie Brown. Willie Brown, the former mayor of San Francisco, is here and making a pretty big announcement. Mayor Brown, you have decided who you're going to endorse in the California governor's race. Lay it on us. Who is it and why?
I'm endorsing Tom Steyer. I believe that he is the best of all the candidates running that has a chance of winning. I have a collection of friends among the 8 Democrats who have evidenced an interest in running and are trying to run. And one of them, Betty Yee, a woman who was serving as, in some statewide capacity for a period of time, she is not and cannot, in my opinion, win. She's dropped out and said she can't win. So I went down to the next group of persons on my list, and on that list was Tom Steyer. And in my conversations earlier in the day and early in the time was with a woman who Newsom had designated to cover banks and handle banks, Chloette Hewitt. And Chloette Hewitt told me about her membership on a board involving a bank with Tom Steyer. And then I took a look at the rest of the names of the people and found out that literally it's the only bank in the state of California that he is in control of that has more people of color or board members than any other. So it was easy for me with the remaining persons who could possibly win. Antonio Villaraigosa, a very good friend of mine, and probably one of the most talented candidates that could run the state. But he's 2 or 3 or 4%. Tony Thurmond, superintendent of schools, less than 2%. And so in the world of politics, you want to win. You just don't want to end up singing somebody's praises, but they lose. Tom Steyer was the guy left in the race that represented the best chance to win for what I believe in and for Black people. That's why I endorsed.
Mayor Brown, in our remaining minutes, I one of the questions that I see a lot of California voters struggling with is putting a billionaire in office. Can you quickly talk us through, whether or not that was a mental hurdle for you at a time where we see, more billionaires running for office, and we're not seeing necessarily the best behavior as guardians of democracy from the billionaire class. I would note for our leaders, learners, and listeners across the country, California is actually considering putting a billionaire tax on this ballot, while also folks are wringing their hands trying to decide if it makes sense to put a billionaire in the governor's office. Talk us through how you landed the plane on that question.
That's an easy decision to make. Why would I not be an admirer of somebody who earns a lot of money legally by being smart, by investing appropriately, or by creating something that causes him to receive great rewards. I'd like to be able to do that for Willie Brown if I could. Otherwise, I will never criticize somebody who makes that kind of money and say, for some reason, you are disqualified from leading this state if you are otherwise qualified because you made so much money. It instantly, for me, means he doesn't have to take money from anybody for anything. He can go on to do for the state for what he did for himself.
Is there such thing as a good billionaire when it comes to progressive issues?
Forget identifying issues as progressive and non-progressive. It's human rights that I'm concerned about, period. Progressives is not something that means I should immediately say I would discriminate against you because you make good money. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why we, the people, are criticizing people who make money.
Mayor Brown, again, in our remaining minutes with you, I could talk to you for days about so many issues in California and across the country and our future, and we would love to have you on to continue to do so. But I have to ask you, you've made an endorsement in this race. What about some of the other high-profile politicos in California? We have not seen our sitting governor, Gavin Newsom, make any endorsement in this race. We've not seen former Vice President Kamala Harris endorse in this race. While we have seen her endorse Mayor Karen Bass for re-election and Rob Bonta and a few others, Mum has been the word on this race. What's your message to them about putting their weight behind whether it's Steyer or some other candidate?
Well, that's what happens in the world of politics. People sometimes endorse and sometimes they don't endorse. And I'm not prepared to condemn them for failing to endorse, period. And I love the idea that people who have held public office or do hold public office are saying to me, X is better than Y for their purposes. I admire that, I respect that, etc. And I just wish that they would do as I've done. In this case, endorse Tom. In other cases, endorse some of the other people that I've endorsed. For an example, the Lieutenant Governor, Fiona Ma. I've endorsed her. She's an Asian CPA accountant. Her opponent is a black guy who was mayor of Stockton for a minute.
Michael Tubbs.
That's right. And in my opinion, she's a better qualified person for the job than he is. She's currently the treasurer of the state of California, and I'm endorsing her. And she's an Asian woman. So it's not unusual for those of us in the world of politics to be different on whom we endorse. And it is not good for us to endorse only on ethnicity and not on other qualifications.
Our thanks to the honorable Willie Brown, the former mayor of San Francisco, former California State Assembly Speaker, political legend around these parts. Mr. Mayor, I hope we get to have a chance to have you back again before the election. Thank you so much for sharing your endorsement and your political know-how. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Bishop Tolton joins us in our next hour.